Hello, beautiful ones. How are you? How are you doing? I hope you are doing pretty good. As for me, I'm doing great. We give God the glory. And today I bring us good tidings for the benefit of those that have not seen this person before, seen me before. This evangelist on your way, evangelist Blossom Amos. I'm here to share with us the benefit, the importance, and the value of knowledge, of information that is based on truths, facts, and principles. On this platform, we share the word of God and we share ideas from books. We benefit the ideas from books. God hates ignorance. We're not living in an era that ignorance is destroying a lot of things. When you look around you, you will see what ignorance is capable of doing in your community, what ignorance is capable of doing in your society, what ignorance is capable of doing in your nation. And ignorance, when you look at many societal problems that we are facing in the world, when you look at some societal problems that we are facing, are you talking about poverty, war, literacy, poor value of education in a nation like Nigeria, Africa, poor value of education? They don't and the murder society, a lot of society is going on murder case and abortion and all of that, and terrorism and racism and environmental pollution. Are you going to talk about a lot of problems like global warming and sexual perversion and political correctness and unemployment problems and bankruptcy here and there and divorce problem and the problem of materialism and obesity and disease and etc. Disease, a lot of illness and all of that. They all have traits to do with ignorance, lack of knowledge. Yes, they have traits to do with ignorance. You know, we are not living an era that ignorance is just in a fanciful package these days, that no, you cannot identify that ignorance is just what is happening, what is affecting in this system. Ignorance is what is destroying people, value, destroying human rights, destroying the benefit of humanity, affecting mankind. Ignorance is what is doing that. You know, it's just God hates ignorance. That is why, how do I know? In the book of Hosea, it says, my people only destroying. The destruction is coming to my people for lack of knowledge. It didn't say lack of money. It didn't say the devil, but rather it said the lack of knowledge. You know, we are not living in a world, in an era whereby we don't recognize ignorance. The lack of knowledge is the foundation of lack of knowledge. Is what bring calamity, destruction to any given society. When we're talking about knowledge is an information that is based on truth, facts, and principle, and that is all about this channel. On this channel, we share the new knowledge, true knowledge that is based on truth. And this, for those that have not really know, go and subscribe. Before we proceed, I will urge you to go and subscribe to this channel. This is a channel whereby we share new knowledge, true knowledge that is based on truth, facts, and principles. You know, knowledge that is based on truth, facts, and principles. We share ideas from books that is really practical, not just books. Whenever you want to really, God can only give. He cannot give you money. He cannot give you material. What God can give to you is idea, revelation, knowledge. So if God has blessings you with idea that you have took your time to invest on any book that is so practical, you want to use it to bless your generation, kindly write me and send it to me. I will read it, and I will also, if I'm blessed by, if I read it and blessed by any books, I will not hesitate not to share. This is what I'm born to. I am born to share good to humanity. So if I'm blessed by your book, I will also be a vessel to share to others on this same platform. So don't hesitate not to write me or to write me if you are writing a book and you know your book you want to use to bless humanity. It's just a blessing. It's just a blessing. God have given you idea. Just like Dr. Sunday, is mainly his books, especially is sharing his idea of his book here on this channel, because Dr. Sunday's book is just practical, just a blessing to our generation. I have read his book, and I say I cannot just be a beneficiary of his book alone. So let me just take it upon myself. I took it upon myself to share it, the benefit and the insight of that book. Today, I will be sharing one of the benefits of his book, the idea of Dr. Sunday, one of his books to you today, which called The Mountain of Ignorance. The Mountain of Ignorance. Yes, it's also written by Dr. Sunday as well. Kindly go and subscribe, like, and share this on the channel. Like and subscribe to this channel, like and share to all social networks. Let there be light. We are the light of the world. It's high time. You know, when we're talking about when many people don't know the benefit of knowledge. Knowledge is the foundation of every success in life. Knowledge. It's not because of of this color or race or this. No, it's knowledge. The difference between the difference between Africa and Europe is knowledge. It's not because of their color, race, and any other thing. No. Don't go there. It's just knowledge. Difference is knowledge. Because God works with knowledgeable people. He loves people when they are pursuit of knowledge. When your body, your organs, all your system are eager to know. God is very interested to work with you. So I want to make you to understand that knowledge is the light and ignorance is a darkness. Ignorance is a darkness that darkens man's heart, that will not make him to do what is right. So today last time I talked about the categories of ignorance. Today we are already we stated that we have 12 categories of ignorance. So we are already on the number 3 of it. I've already explained the two type of ignorance that is affecting humanity. Today I will be explaining the third one, which is called ostentatious. Because of time, it's called ostentatious ignorance. When we're talking about this type of ignorance, ostentatious ignorance, you know, this type of ignorance, have you ever come across people who are ignorant of a particular thing, a topic they want to talk, either in any organization or any religious home or any program, they just, you know, they are ignorant of that particular topic. But this is called ostentatious ignorance. But we call it ostentatious ignorance. Ostentatious ignorance. So there are many people. You have come across people like that. They are just ignorant on that particular topic. Just for example, I want to talk about the topic of ignorance now. So I have no clue about this ignorance. I will just be talking about it. But there are people like that. They don't know they don't know the topic they want to talk about. They will just bring that topic. They don't even have a iota of that topic. They will bring that topic. So we call it ostentatious ignorance. So, but they will, instead of them to tell you that they don't know about this, they don't know, you know, they will pretend to know so much about it. They'll pretend to know so much about it. Just like this issue of ignorance, I've read this book. I know ignorance is a destruction. I know ignorance is what it caused a lot of calamity to humanity. I know ignorance is what made God to say that my people only destroy. I know that ignorance is a deadly virus. I know ignorance can destroy. It can affect any race. You have no respect of anybody. Ignorance. So, so this kind of group of people that have affected you with this kind of category of ignorance, ostentatious ignorance. So they'll pretend to know so much about it. So to impress about the problem, like Nigeria now. The Minister of Education, Minister of Agriculture, they pretend they don't know they are not bringing results, but they pretend to tell you that, like this virus that's going on, we call it coronavirus. This coronavirus in Nigeria, they will tell you they prepare. Hey, the Minister of Information will tell you that they are very much prepared, and meanwhile they are paying attention to people that they wanted in the checking point. They without a mask, without a hand glove, and you can see how lack of information they had. They don't have information of they are not knowledge preparation to it, but they will give the impression that they know everything about it. That is what we call ostentatious ignorance. So people that we must have. So what I'm just talking about some people like Nigeria. They are affected with this kind of ignorance. This set of people always fall into a trap of lying. This category of people, you see Nigeria, they are always in victim. They'll give a budget to people that cannot even carry, fall into the trap of lying just to cover up. You see Nigeria, they cover up the death rate that is increasing in Nigeria every day. You see Nigeria, if they see the Nigeria leader, they cover up all that. There's no killing, and people are dying. So they just to cover up their lie, to cover up their death, the dirtiness and the ungodliness and the unpleasant and the discomfort system that is happening in their community. So they will cover up those lies. Those people are affected by ostentatious ignorance. They cover up their ignorance, so which eventually expose them in embarrassing manner. Is Nigeria being embarrassed in one way or the other? They put them in the visa ban, and all those are embarrassments. You know how many embarrassments that Nigeria lies have cost us in different countries? Even me, I'm not living in Nigeria, but I know the embarrassment that Nigeria, because of the inconsequential leaders that we have in Nigeria. So their lies and all of them, the embarrassment you have caused to anyone that's traveled out of Nigeria, if you don't know who you are. So one of my the author of this, we said one of my assistant, he said his assistant. One of my assistants once told me that of a lady she met with a friend of hers. They were discussing the different country, about different kind of country, and they have been to the different kind of country they have visited. This lady by name Sarah or whoever, who was literally have not traveled, he have no clue about any country, he have not traveled out of her country before, and he also has a little or no knowledge about any current affair about countries and their differences, cities, faith, and city faith. The compulsion to add to this conversation just to impress the people that is having this conversation with her about travel. She told her friend that her last trip was just Bahamas, and the friend was like, wow, I am yet to visit the Bahamas. How these Bahamas? She asked. The lady asked her. Sarah went on describing all kinds of things and how she enjoyed her stay in Bahamas. Then she asked Sarah, "What city in Bahamas did you visit?" It's just that when I would say I have been in Spain, somebody will now ask me, "Which city have you visited in Spain?" I will say I will just go and mention another city that is in Germany. It's not funny. This ignorance will be affecting. We are affecting us one way or the other, but we pay less attention to it. It's a high time it's destroying us. It's a high time we're going to acknowledge the ignorance that is destroying us. So ask her. He said, "What city in Bahamas do you visit?" He said, "Texas." Texas, she claimed, to which Sarah affirmed to Texas, there's no city called Texas in the Bahamas. Texas is in the US. My assistant said to her, of which she argued, claiming that was my name. Was the name of the city she visited. She was very embarrassed as they ended their conversation and went on separate way. She was embarrassed and she keep on arguing until she separated from them. This is the kind of situation most of our teenagers and youth find themselves into today. They are always in the need to impress. In need the material, they want to buy one look, material school, material women Ashebi. They want to buy women that is in Ashebi or one bed. They want to buy one material that will impress their neighbor. At the end, they end up embarrassing their husband and their children when they are dragging them money. As such, they will never like to admit their ignorance. They will rather keep quiet to ask questions on the subject they know nothing about, just because they want to feel important. They want to feel important. They want to carry themselves high before their friends. And so another said, there's another, I believe, there's another category of ignorance. This ostentatious ignorance. People don't know the direction of a particular location. There are people that is also affected. They don't know a particular location. As a taxi driver, they will claim they don't know they don't know the location, where they are going. They will pretend to know. So as a taxi driver, they will be carrying you round, and the time that you would have spent, maybe you would have spent like 5 minutes. They will take you 15 minutes because they are ignorant of the location. So, but before instead of them to admit that I am not sure of the area you are talking. So all those are affected by ostentatious ignorance. It's affecting our world. Is that how we're going to spread this knowledge for a neighbor to say? Is also even in parents. Parents should please help their children to know this kind of ignorance, so that they can say no to this kind of ignorance. And our world, our generation, we should say no to this type of ignorance. This is called ostentatious ignorance. I believe I don't